All right, guys, it's Mr. Kreisler, and today we're going to be learning about factoring trinomials and using what I call the AM method. So the AM method means that our middle value right here, or the coefficient attached to the x, is a number we're looking for, two numbers we're looking for that add to this. And then our constant or our C term, we're looking for two numbers that also multiply to this. So they must multiply to the C and add to the B. In this case, we're looking for two numbers that add to a positive 8 and multiply to a positive 7. So that's a setup. The trick is, how do we multiply to a positive number? Well, positive times positive is a positive, and a negative times a negative. If our factor is positive that we have to add to, then, well, we need two positives to add together. So we have x plus something and x plus something. So let's think of factors of 7. Well, 7 is prime, so that means only 1 times 7 will work. And we just said they both have to be positive, so 1 plus 7 equals 8, so that works. So our two factors are 1 and 7, and that's it. That's your answer. That's how you factor it. Okay, another example. Also with a positive third term, we have x squared minus 11x plus 10. What is our a? Well, it's a negative 11, and then our m is the positive 10. So two numbers that add to a negative 11 that also multiply to a positive 10. If you remember our rule, this is positive, it has to be positive, positive, or negative, negative. Since we're adding to a negative, well, then both terms have to be negative. So x minus something and x minus something. And figure out what multiplies to 10. Well, I know 1 times 10 works, and I know 2 times 5 works. And remember, they both have to be negative. So negative 1 minus 10 equals negative 11. Well, that works, so I don't really need to check these two. So those are our factors. So x minus 1 and x minus 10 work. And that's it for this one. This is our answer. Make sure you ask any questions that you feel you need. All right. We're going to move on to the next one, which it'll be x squared plus 2x, this time minus 24. So now our multiplication term is negative. Add to 2, multiply to negative 24. This is positive. So how do we multiply to a negative? Well, 1 must be positive, 1 must be negative. So set up your terms, x plus and x minus. Since I have to add and the answer has to be positive, and I'm adding a positive negative, that means the positive number has to be the bigger number. So whenever we're figuring out our factors, the bigger one has to be positive and the smaller one is negative. So let's see. 1 times 24 equals 24. 2 times 12. 3 times 8. 4 times 6. The bigger one has to be positive and the smaller ones have to be negative. So negative 1 plus 24 isn't going to work. Negative 2 plus 12 isn't going to work. Negative 3 plus 8, not going to work. But negative 4 plus 6 does equal a positive 2. So negative 4 and 6 are our factors, and they just go in the right boxes. So the positive is a 6, the negative is a 4. That is our final answer. And if you ever want to check this, just distribute it back. X times x, x squared. X times negative 4 is negative 4x. 6 times x is 6x. Combine those, you get a positive 2x. And 6 times negative 4, negative 24. All right, one last example. We have x squared minus 5x minus 6. This time, the a and the m are both negative. Does that make it very difficult? No, we just remember our rules and we're good. So how do we multiply to a negative? We need a positive and a negative. So x plus something and x minus something. Well, which one's going to be the bigger one? Well, if you're adding a positive number and a negative number, and the answer is negative, then the negative is the bigger one. Which makes positive the smaller one. So how do we multiply to 6? We got 1 times 6 and 2 times 3. Since we said the bigger number, this time it has to be negative. The 6 is negative and the 3 is negative. So 1 minus 6 does happen to equal -5, and we're done if we wanted to test it. 2 minus 3 equals -1, so that does not work. So what are our factors? The 1 and the -6. So the 1 is the positive one, so it goes here. 6 is negative, and it goes there. And there you go, we're done. And that is how you factor a trinomial using what I call the AM method. All right, be good, guys.